What is the biggest butterfly effect in the world history that ever happened? Smash the like button if you would, and let's get started. In 1894, a priest rescued a child from drowning in the Passau River. The child later grows up to be the Chancellor of Germany and the prime instigator of World War II, Adolf Hitler. Oops, pretty much. Don't worry, he also saved the man who killed Hitler from that same river. Some meteor in the 4th century, Constantine was battling to take control of Rome, and before the final major battle, he saw a meteor fly through the sky he claimed was a trophy from God. Then his massively outnumbered army won the battle. Constantine became emperor and passed the Edict of Milan, which led to the explosion of Christianity. So much of European and global history can be traced back to this moment. Constantine himself was a polytheistic, pagan, Roman, as were the two others vying from the throne in this Roman civil war, but the Christian sect was growing. Constantine played politics and attempted to stand out from the other two, and as is custom for pagans, "My God is better than your God" was the usual trash talk of the day. Save that Constantine was able to tap into this amazing religious ferocity of "My one God is better than your entire pantheon." This, coupled with that darn comet, plus some great military actions, helped move him to the popular, victorious lead. Constantine converted to Christianity on his deathbed, more than a decade after claiming God as his one true God. Gavrilo Princip just so happened to be in the right place, right time, to assassinate Franz Ferdinand. Leads to World War I, crippling Germany in the Treaty of Versailles. Leads to the rise of Hitler, then World War II, the borders of nations, allowing the USSR to move into Europe, etc. One guy just happens to be there when the driver made a wrong turn. I mean, Princip was part of the crew that wanted Ferdinand dead. He wasn't simply just eating a sandwich, while he wasn't one of the leaders plotting it out and the car deviated from its path. I just don't want people to think that Princip took a bite of his lunch, wiped his hands on his pants, and go, "You know what? Yeah, today I'm gonna do a thing." It was premeditated. Star Trek is why Obama became president. Star Trek hired Jeri Ryan to be 7 of 9. Her husband refused to move to LA, so they divorced messily. When he was running for office, people dug up stuff about the divorce, as it's public record. He had to drop out and his opponent, running for the first time, won. That was Barack Obama. And if you remember, he rose pretty rapidly in the ranks from there. So not just Star Trek, but the thirst of a million geeks and waning popularity of Voyager. Not the largest, but an interesting one, is that the Portland Trailblazers only exist because Harry Glickman forgot his raincoat in the NBA owners meeting, and was able to convince the owners, who didn't want Portland in the league, to let them in when he went back to get it. Another fun sports one from last year's NBA season. The last game of the season, the Trailblazers benched the entire starting unit and let the third stringers play the entire game. 6 people played total. This was done to rest the starters, and some say to lose the game so that Portland would face Utah in the first round. The team got down by nearly 40 in the first half, but behind 19-year-old Anthony Simons' 37 points and 12 assists and won the game. The win changed the seeding, so that Portland played Russell Westbrook, Paul George, and the OKC Thunder in the first round. Dame, CJ, and the boys' dad, Dick the Thunder into eternity, with the piece de resistance being Dame's 50-point game. 5, which included him ending the series on a 35-foot step-back 3-point shot as time expired, leading to his infamous wave goodbye to the Thunder team immediately after hitting the series winner. The wave proved prescient, as the Thunder's complete annihilation led to Paul George requesting a trade, which opened the door for the Clippers to trade for him, which allowed them to sign Kawhi Leonard. This then resulted in former MVP and franchise cornerstone, Russell Westbrook, being traded to Houston, and the OKC team, which many had considered title contenders for years to come, being broken up and going into rebuilding mode. All of it starting with a 19-year-old refusing to lose, and leading a comeback, in what many thought was a meaningless game to end the regular season. When one cell decided to absorb another cell and not kill it, regarded as a bad move by most people, we should have never done that. Oh, to be young and naive again, the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Brazil right now. Back in 2013, people started protesting against the rising of the bus fare. Those protests led to the rise of extremist politicians. Now we have an idiot who constantly flirts with authoritarian policies as a president. During this pandemic, he fired and lost 2 health ministers because they did not want to say chloroquine was an effective drug. Stopped reporting the death toll of corona victims. I bet he will try a coup d'etat before the end of his term. I effing hate him, and hate even more the idiots who voted for him. He has always been a useless, lying piece of shit. I don't understand how people expected him to be a savior.